Welcome to the Sports Show. I'm Andy Marks.
And I'm Byron Saucer.
Here to do a little more Friday Night Rewind. Let's get right to it. We'll start at Stan Toole Memorial Stadium where you were. It was supposed to be a good game. It really wasn't, was it?
No, it really wasn't, unless you were draped in the garnet and gold out there. The Colts looked very, very good. Dominating, in fact. The defense was outstanding. The offense was methodical. Just very impressed. I mean, South Sumter's a team that's not used to being on the wrong end of a 42-0 score. I don't know what else to say. I mean, the Colts look like they really turned the corner Friday night, and I'm hoping it'll continue throughout the season.
You know, we catch ourselves wondering what's wrong with South Sumter after a loss that bad. But on the other side of that coin, they beat Pasco, who was in the state semifinals last year.
Sure.
Just a week earlier, and they beat them bad. Pasco was ranked, fourth in the state at the time, in a higher classification than South Sumter. So this is just a really, really impressive win. We have that same South Sumter team this week hosting Trinity, so we'll get a gauge there. If they really stretch Trinity, then it makes North Marion look all the better. But wow, 42-0. I get my own problem sometimes covering these football games is I get lost talking about offense. But what happened there on the defensive side of the ball to lead to that shutout?
They just, and to get back to the South Sumter thing, I think they're down a little, as in they're young this year, at quarterback, and they really don't have their passing game worked out. But this was about the North Marion defense and just the speed of these guys. Latavian Sweet coming off the edge, nobody's been able to handle him all year, and it continued. So anytime, you can just blow up a pass play right off the bat, I mean, that gets everybody going, and they just couldn't do anything. They ran, I think, 49, 50 times, probably 10 different backs. Nothing worked. I mean, they had plenty of plays, and North Marion just completely shut them down. That's a very good defensive unit. Those guys out there do a great job. And this North Marion team, we thought maybe they were a little young this year, but boy, I tell you, they seem to grow up, take a step each week, and it's been a heck of a schedule, tough run. I mean, they're going to play another undefeated team in Lake Weir this Friday. Before they even get in their district stretch, you look at the first 5 games they played, to come out of that, 3-1 to this point, potentially 4-1 is outstanding.
And they probably should have beat St. Augustine, and if that had happened, they may be number 1 right now.
Absolutely,
if that were the case, right? And they may deserve to be anyways. Who knows? We'll see how it goes down the stretch. So I was over on the other side of the county at Trinity Catholic. They were hosting their longtime nemesis, Newberry. Newberry, of course, supplanted them from their sort of state championship game dynasty that they've had in the last few years. And Newberry came in thinking they could win this game. They gave Trinity some fits in the early going, but Trinity, I think, kind of got their act together. They certainly did on defense, where Newberry had one great first drive, and then their run offense just kind of sputtered after that. It was a nice game for the Trinity D. The offense was a little bit sluggish, but thanks to some really nice running from Kedrick Rhodes and from Terry Murphy, they took control of things and ran away with it. It was 31-7. It was a workmanlike win. They still have the same questions at quarterback that people have been worrying about. And in fact, when the offense was a little stagnant early, Coach John Brantley went to kind of a 3-headed quarterback where he was using Gray Crow on passing downs, and Jeremiah Gates actually threw a pass, which was a little bit atypical, and then Kadrian Boone took a lot of snaps out of the Wildcat. So we'll see how that shapes out. I think you need to have some kind of consistency at under center, and maybe they'll be consistently inconsistent, and that'll be their thing. But I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I haven't really seen Trinity since the preseason classic, but you got the sense that the defense had some work to do, to get to that championship level again, and the offense, it didn't have that wow factor it's really had in years past, and it's kind of odd because of the roster. But you had a guy that's at Purdue now running the show last year, and Rob Henry, and he's not only was he a great football player, but a tremendous leader. And until somebody steps forward, I think you're going to see those inconsistencies, and unfortunately, you just can't have it this year because 2B got a lot tougher. So we'll have to watch them down the stretch. But big win for them. This puts them in the driver's seat, and if nothing else, this should keep them from having to go up to Jacksonville and play bowls in round 1. So
right, and another game lost in a wide margin, just like with South Sumter, is that Newberry is a class program, and you beat them by 24. I think you accomplished something.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to see, and I think Trinity would like to see, and all the fans would like to see, is they got to find a way to get Kadrian Boone the ball downfield. That's not happening right now, and if they're going to be a state championship contender, they're going to be airing it out, and he's going to be catching it. If that doesn't happen, I don't think they're going to go the distance this year. So let's move on. Forest, huge win for Forest. I think as good as Forest looks, that's about as bad as Bellevue's looking right now.
Yeah, I mean, Forest, you got the sense that there's another team that could probably be 4-0 right now. So they didn't quit after they had the tough loss to Union County and the tough 1-point loss to North Marion. Looks like Brooks is getting it under center. Defense played well. I think Forest is going to be a team to be reckoned with in 6A up there. They got the Jacksonville 6A district. I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah, an impressive win for them. They also had to overcome the loss of their quarterback, and that seems to be progressing nicely every week. Moving on, another really big win for the Dunellen Tigers.
Yeah, Dunellen went out there and hung a 28-0 loss on Eustis. That's always a quality win. I don't care what Eustis's record is. They have athletes very similar to Dunellen. Tough place to play. Good win for the Tigers.
Yeah, and another big game for Bubba Black. That seems to be, after 3 years now, I guess we should be used to seeing him putting up, 100, 200, 300 yards, depending on what week it is.
Some college is going to get lucky with Bubba Black. I mean, they're going to get a bargain in this kid. He's a little undersized. A lot of the D1 programs are going to overlook him, but somebody's going to get a gift in Bubba Black.
Jeff Demp's not a big guy either, but if you know how to get yards in big bunches, there's a place for you somewhere.
That's right.
So Vanguard, we don't want to gloss over Vanguard. Their record is starting to shape out as not a great record, but man, they're competitive every week.
Yeah, they went up there and gave Buchholz all they wanted, and you could see this coming. I mean, Alex Castaneda certainly knows what he's doing. It looks like that family is united again over there. The players are coming out. They're buying in. It's only a matter of time before these guys get back on track.
And Leo Burgess, what a night he had, 200 and something yards. They came storming back in the second half, pushed them to overtime. They went for it, I think, on a 4th and 1 and didn't get there. But man, it's a gutsy game. And the fan, 1-3, 3-1, it doesn't matter. Vanguard is a program that was in shambles last year. Everybody's feeling good about the direction. And you could say the same thing about Ocala Christian Academy, just a routine workmanlike blowout win.
Yeah, I mean, this looked like it was a close one there going into the third quarter, but these guys, they just keep getting it done. I mean, what can you say? This was the first of the 2 tests. It looks like Landmark's the first one, Faith Baptist will be the other. I'm still saying 10-0 for the Crusaders.
It'd be nice to see over there. And finally, we had a couple of tough losses. Westport, I think, had their hands full in a mismatch against Gainesville. The Wolfpack's going to have a chance to get in the win column this week if they get their act together and play well.
Lake Weir, too, also picked up their district game over Central, Brooksville Central. 41-21, a little closer than we had anticipated, but it looked like Lake Weir got a comfortable lead, kind of did that thing they do where they let the other team get in it, but they have enough athleticism, and the coaching staff, of course, does a great job up there, so they got them settled, and they brought that one home. So that's the big matchup, I guess, this Friday, right, Andy? I mean,
Absolutely.
Lake Weir, North Marion.
Yeah, it's an exciting game, and I think it's going to be a packed house there because both these communities are furiously frenzied about their teams, and deservedly so. This may be the best Lake Weir team ever. We'll see how it shakes down as the season goes on. But yeah,
maybe the biggest crowd in Candler history too. We'll see.
It could be. The one thing we had talked about last week about Lake Weir is that they gotta stay on guard, and it seems like maybe in this game they got a lead and decided that they were good enough that they didn't need to play in the second half. They let a team that they should have beat handily back in the game. Maybe it could be a blessing in disguise because I think they're gonna be ready to go against North Marion, and wow, what an exciting matchup.
And the difference is, last year the same thing happened when Crystal River came in. That's a team they probably should have handled. They didn't. They let it get away. This week they didn't.
Right.
They got the W. So 4-0, another milestone.
Good for them, and we will revisit all this weekend's games later this week in the sports show, and we'll see you then.